Hi, my name is Monica. I'm from Cookie.com, and I'm here to talk about Page Slider 3. So if you're not familiar with Page Slider, it allows you to scroll through different pages. And Page Slider 3 has a lot of improvements from Page Slider 2. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a basic page slider. If you want to see how to customize everything, you can check out the second video. So in Muse, you want to start setting up your layout. You need to set up your different sections and your slides. And so for this layout, I'm going to set up 3 different sections. When you're naming your pages, each page has to have a unique name, and the name shouldn't contain any spaces or special characters. So I'm going to call this Section 1, Section 2, and Section 3. And then I'm going to have 2 slides for Section 1. And I'm going to give them some really simple names because it makes it really easy to keep track of everything. So right now I just gave 3 slides to Section 2. So the main difference between the sections and the slides, the sections you can scroll through vertically, the slides you scroll through horizontally. And you can have unlimited sections, but you can only have up to 20 slides per section. Now you may have noticed that I left the home page alone. That's because it's not going to be an actual part of the page slider, because that just includes the sections and the slides. The home page is going to be used for placing the widget. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the home page. I'm going to go to Masters, No Master. So now I can place my widget. I'm going to open the page slider folder, and I'm going to put the main widget at the upper left. So there's 2 components, the main widget and the section widget. So I'm just going to open the option panel, and then for section ID, you can put whatever you want, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to put Section 1. And then for the main slide, I'm going to put the page name for the section, which is Section 1. The title is optional, and then since I want slides, I'm going to check the slides box, and then I'm going to put the page names of my slides. You also want to choose a sort order. Since this is my first section, it's going to have a sort order of 1, and then you can have an optional tooltip text, and this only shows up if you add your tooltips. So now I'm going to put my other sections. If you need more sections, you can either duplicate this or you can grab a new section from the library, place it next to your other sections, and then choose the right sort order. The next thing you need to do to make sure the widget works properly is you have to go to the master page. And then we're going to grab this widget called Inside Pages, and I'm just going to place it at the top left. So this widget has to be on every page that's included in Page Slider, otherwise the widget won't work properly. And the easiest way to do that is by simply placing it on the master page and then making sure that your master page is applied to every page that's included in Page Slider. So now I'm going to go ahead and assign different colors and text to all of the sections and slides so that we can tell everything apart when we're previewing everything. So when you want to add a background fill, the best thing to do is to add it as a browser fill. And then whenever you're placing objects on the page, you want to make sure you use pinning. Pinning allows you to control the layout. Another thing to keep in mind when you're designing your pages is to keep the page height small, because for Page Slider you can't scroll down the page because when you scroll it brings you to the next page. So if you have a really long page, all the stuff at the bottom isn't going to show up in Page Slider. So it's best to keep your page height short, probably under 1,000 pixels. Another way to control the layout is to use vertical positioning. And so what you would do is you would just go to the master page, you would grab the vertical position widget, place it And then we can like center this in the browser just by putting V.3. So now I'm going to add text and browser fields to the rest of the pages. So I've styled all of the pages and now we're ready to preview. One thing to keep in mind when you're working with Page Slider is that when you want to preview, you want to make sure you preview the site in browser instead of preview the page in browser. And this is important because if you just preview the page, it's not going to load all the other pages, so it won't work properly. So you can go to File, Preview Site in Browser, or you can do Command-Alt-E. So here's our page slider, and we can scroll through the different sections as well as through the different slides. So now I'm just going to quickly go through the other widgets. So if we open the home page, then we open the library, there's all these different widgets. The button widget allows you to navigate between different slides. All you have to do is put the section name and the appropriate slide number. So if I wanted to link to section 2, slide 2, I would insert that information there. And then you can add button text. So I can call this 2B because that's the name of section 2, slide 2. And I'll go over the styling options in the next video. And we're going to want to pin this so that we can control the layout. So the directional sample gives you 4 buttons that allows you to navigate through the slides. You can go up, down, left, or right. And the cool thing about this is that they use graphic styles. So if you wanted to create your own unique buttons, you can do that, and you just have to assign the appropriate graphic style names to it. And these need to be pinned as well. Next up is the Inside Pages widget, which we already used. Section widget we already used. Okay, sections navigation. The sections navigation are tooltips that you can place on the page. They allow you to navigate through the sections. And I'm going to go over the customization options for this as well. You can also choose to responsively position it. So I can have it 50% from the top so that it's always in the center of the browser. There's also the slides navigation. It's like the sections navigation, but instead of scrolling vertically through the sections, it scrolls horizontally through the slides. And then finally, there's a tooltip text. This allows you to have a tooltip show up when you hover over the sections navigation. And you can completely customize this. It doesn't really matter where you place it, so I'm just going to leave it there. Oh, and finally, there's a slide picker. So when you have slides in a section, Slide Picker allows you to view all of those slides at once and then pick a slide to go to. And this can be customized. And this will only show up on sections that have slides. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and preview. And here's our button. We also have our arrow keys. So we can go left, right, up, down. Here's our sections navigation with our tooltip. Here's Slide Picker. And this is when slide title becomes useful. Remember earlier that I said it was an optional feature? So if you were to change the name of the slide title, it'll show up in Slide Picker. Well, that's all that I have for you. Please check out the second video for customization options. If you have more questions about Page Slider, you can leave a comment below or you can check out the documentation. As always, thank you for watching.